So I want to talk about a couple of points that, if you watch the news, they never make, but it highlights an angle of the primary with the Democrats that I really think is worth looking at. One of the things that I think it's important to keep in mind, if you're a Hillary supporter, and if you are, on TV, it's a daily chipping away at your resolve to support her, because it's like every day in the media's perception or prism, it's always negative. It's always negative. But one of the things that you can look at is, for example, the fact that, yeah, she has run a campaign that has made a lot of mistakes. I mean, they didn't have a plan for going after Super Tuesday. They did run her like she was the incumbent. And, she has made her fair share, more than her fair share, I suppose, of mistakes along the way. But the fact is that she is still a viable candidate. Obama, you can say, has run a pretty flawless campaign. He certainly has had help from the Democratic leaders of the party. They have bent over backwards to make his run as easy as possible. They have basically, from the beginning, have put this no touch zone around him, and I really, that kind of bothered me. This idea that Hillary, who was the chief competitor, it's like hands off. No, you don't touch him. And when I would watch this on the news, I would think, wow, going through my mind was like a two-person fight, which is what any competition is. But, the Democratic party leaders and the media were saying to the Clintons, okay, get in, touch gloves, and then Hillary, you stand there like a log and let the other guy beat the snot out of you. Then take an early dive and we'll declare him the winner, and that's a fair fight. It's as if this guy is like the untouchable. You are not supposed to say anything about him. Don't be critical, don't be negative, nothing. And that's how this race was supposed to go. But of course the Clintons, they don't play that. And that's one thing I always respected about them, is that they are fighters. They don't mind getting down in the dirt if they have to. So, but anyway, what was my point? Oh yeah, the angle is that he has run a flawless campaign, pretty much. But you notice, even with the help, even with having more money than anybody ever almost in a primary, which he will soon get there, he can't win. He hasn't been able to win. It's like he cannot win unless she drops out of the race. Granted, she can't win either, but we only ever hear it from that point of view. It's like, Hillary, you can't win, get out. It's never, well, Barack, you can't win either, why don't you get out? But the point was that, in spite of her flaws during this campaign, despite that she has at times had negative ratings, almost up to 50%, she is still very much in this race. That speaks to her strengths. And despite what the media constantly says and what have you believe, oh, she's in the race because she's not unselfish enough to get out. No, it's because people keep voting for her. Do you think if she wasn't winning these states that she would still be in this race? No. Barack would have gotten to the magic number by now, or they wouldn't have been donating money, which if you're a supporter you should, I do. But they ignore that fact, that she is every bit as wanted by her supporters as he is by his. That's why neither one of them can win at this point. But they never want to emphasize that fact. The other point is that she has carried the base of this party. That's something else they never really showcase. Yeah, Obama has attracted a gazillion new members, and he's basically taken almost 100% of the black vote. But never before has a Democrat candidate been able to stay in a race, let alone have a good chance of winning, without carrying at least a significant chunk of the black vote. She's lost all of it, and yet she's still in this race. Why? Because she's attracting everybody else. She's attracting the working class voters and the women, which is the meat of this party. He got the black vote, and if it wasn't for the black vote, he wouldn't be in this race. But the only other people he's getting are these new supporters and the fringe of the party, which is those ultra liberal elitists. But that's it. And this isn't growing the party. These people are here for him. I hate to call them this, but to me this is like a cult mentality. And he's built his fan club up, but these people aren't going to be voting for a Democrat when he's out of this race. They're there for him. That's not building this party. What the Republicans do is they build their party because they vote for issues. That's what drives them. It can be any figurehead, but as long as the issues are the forefront, they organize, they galvanize. But that's not true with us, and that's always been the case. I mean that they say was it Republicans fall in line, Democrats fall in love. That we always have to have that candidate that gets us there. We don't, as much as we care about the issues, that's not enough to get us to the polls. But anyway, he hasn't appealed to the base of this party. That's important because we keep losing. In 7 elections, we've only won twice with Bill, who is a moderate, not a liberal. And yet, seems like we lately keep putting through these liberal candidates. And Obama has the most liberal record in the Senate. This is a great risk because people get tired of being on the losing team. And eventually, you go somewhere else. To me, having Obama become the nominee is like that last nail in the coffin to really start a third party, pretty much, because what is the point of constantly electing these wimpy liberals who get their asses kicked in the general? I mean, what if you don't become the president, you don't get to enact any policies, so then what was the point? Hillary is our chance to win. She's another moderate, which is what we need. But whether they do it or not, I don't know. It's looking like they're not going to, but you never know. But again, we'll lose if we don't, and we have no one else to blame. But back to the point was that there are issues and things they don't mention on the news which show her strength, and that's wrong.